Hello, and welcome to Great Works. I'm your host, David Eaglesmith, and we are quite fortunate today to have with us, live via satellite from Dundee, Scotland, noted author and ardent golfer, Ian McDuff. Ian, it is truly a pleasure to have you here with us today on the 10th anniversary of the publication of your magnum opus, Golf, the Kenji Way.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm terribly sorry, Ian. I'm being told that we are having difficulty with the video feed, but rest assured, the dulcet tones of your marvelous Scottish brogue are coming through loud and clear. Now, for those in our audience who have not had the pleasure of reading your wonderful book, I would like to provide them with a little background. First of all, I have here, of course, a copy of your book, Golf, the Kenji Way by Ian McDuff. And I would like to take a moment and again provide our audience with a little background information, starting with a little biographical data about the author, our friend Ian here. Turning to the back flap, about the author. Ian McDuff was born in Dunflubdit, Scotland, and grew up playing the spectacular but forbidding links of Shankmore County. Despite an enduring passion for the game, he appeared destined for golfing mediocrity. Fortuitously, while making a pilgrimage to the Alistair McKenzie courses of Northern California, he was paired with a local Pasatiempo member who introduced himself only as Kenji, a grizzled and unassuming figure who turned out to be a veritable cornucopia of unsolicited advice. What transpired that day would change McDuff's approach to the game forever. When not traveling the world sharing the wisdom of the Kenji Way at seminars and book signings, the author resides in Dundee, Scotland, with his two Rottweilers, Bogey and Double Bogey. Now, again, before I set the book aside, I will also read some information about the content of the book from the front flap. It says here, Golf, the Kenji Way. Have you ever wondered how the pros hit long irons with accuracy and distance control? How they squeeze maximum yardage out of their drivers without wrenching their spines? How they achieve that uncanny touch around the greens? Well, you won't find the answers to those questions in this book because they wouldn't do you any good anyway. You simply don't have the physical tools required to do what they do, so get over it. What you will find herein is a wealth of practical knowledge for the average Joe, a hacker's Bible, if you will, for the golfer who continually believes he is on the verge of taking his game to the next level despite all evidence to the contrary, and who doesn't have the good sense to give up the sport altogether. And with that, Ian, I would like to ask you a few questions. Of course, first of all, I think our audience would simply like to know if you've been able to keep in touch with Kenji over the past 10 years.
Well, I wish very much that I had been able to, but you see, this Kenji is a bit of a mysterious fellow. Since the publication of my book, he has become almost a mythical figure. I contacted the highly esteemed Pasatiempo Golf Club and learned that Kenji was no longer a member there. I cannot tell you the details of his departure, but my sense is that a serious rift developed between Kenji and the club's board of directors.
Then can you tell us anything about the background of this somewhat mysterious character?
Well, on my visits to California, I have spent many an evening at the Mackenzie Bar and Grill, and I have heard all the stories, mostly legends really. Some say he is the reincarnation of an ancient samurai warrior. Some say he is a former Zen master who left his life as a Buddhist monk when, inexplicably, he was bitten by the golf bug. Others feel he was a con artist and a sandbagger, just another hacker who talked a good game. I see. Well, and what do you believe to be true? Well, I do believe that the Zen philosophy has had a great influence on him. In my research, I have talked to Zen teachers, and I like the way one of them summed up the rules of Zen. He said, it comes down to this: smile, breathe, and go slowly. That's all. Smile, breathe, and go slowly. Whatever one might say about Kenji, he is a most amiable and cheerful fella, always ready to offer a friendly smile and a word of encouragement when you miss a 2-foot putt or shank a chip shot. Also, breathing is a big part of his golf game. They say he practices for hours in front of a mirror set up in his private indoor practice range. The key, he once told me, is to synchronize inhalation through the nose with the backswing and exhalation through the mouth on the downswing. Finally, there is the third rule of Zen: go slowly. Trust me, no one plays the game more slowly than Kenji. It's truly a marvel to watch his unhurried ritual of club selection, target identification, and almost interminable address of the ball. And do you know nothing of what has become of this most intriguing figure? Again, there are only rumors around the Monterey Bay region. I'm afraid there is some suggestion that he has fallen on hard times, dispensing tips of dubious value for $10 a pop to a steadily dwindling group of disciples. I myself prefer rather to believe others who say he is thriving, playing local courses with a faithful following of true friends who find his unwavering passion for the game of golf and his juvenile sense of humor truly inspiring.
Well, thank you so much, Ian, and I'm afraid we're out of time. That will do it for another edition of Great Works. Just be sure to look for Ian McDuff's book, Golf, The Kenji Way by Ian McDuff, at bookstores everywhere.